Hey, I'm Shannon with directcarpet.com, and here's part 2 as promised. This carpet's called Tartan Eclipse. If you want it, if you love it, you can find it at directcarpet.com. And stick around at the end. We got some special news.
Now that you see how we've done one stair, we're going to push that down. I'm going to kind of get these pre-set all the way up so that this thing stays straight. We're going to take our pre-made template over here, our spacer, shall I say. We're going to make sure that's spaced. Now, we're going to start on the same side, line it up to the spacer, and then we're going to double tap in there to make sure that we're lined up. 1, 2. We look good from here to here. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. Double tap on the end. Okay, we're going to feel for any staples. Everything seems good. And then we're going to move up top to our next, to the tread part of this installation. Now, if you like this carpet, you can find this carpet at directcarpet.com. We pre-make this as Tartan Eclipse. Now, let's keep moving on here. All right, we're going to take our kicker. We've got our spacer, and we're going to line up on there. Now, if we have to angle it over, you can angle it over with your kicker, right, to keep it up, keep it on line, right, because you can twist it this way, and then you could be off. Very important to make sure that we're straight all the way up. Let's try that, okay? Put some pressure. Looks nice. Right in the corner. Double tap. And then every 2 inches. Now, if you need to do it every inch, do it every inch. Pressure. Double tap. Right, if you need more, use more. If you need less, use less. We're gonna take our hammer and our carpet tool. Okay, and we'll make this line just beautiful all the way down. Look at how nice and tight this is. This is looking really sharp. Okay, now we're gonna come under here, under our riser. We're gonna pre-bend, pre-form. Okay, same thing, double tap. And then every 2 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was every 3 inches. 5, 6. Double tap. Okay, so I kind of cheated there. I went every 3 inches, but that's how you'll figure out different carpet's going to react. This carpet's pretty soft. You can see it didn't need so many staples, so let's not use so many. All right, moving on. I'm going to take our spacer. We're going to bring it up 1 stair. I'm going to put it on the riser, and then we're going to form our carpet over to there. Now you can see that there's a little bit of a gap starting to form here. So these stairs, no stair is ever straight, right? They're never going to be straight. Your house is never going to be straight. So you've got to kind of move back and forth. That's why you have a template or a spacer, so that you can be pretty close. You know what I mean? Be pretty close. Okay, moving on. Let's grab our kicker and our staple gun, and let's get set up now. You can see the angle that I'm on. You can see the angle that this is on. We've got to twist this over a little bit. So we'll come back into the middle, use your hip, and put a little pressure. Now you can see that there's a little gap, but maybe this is kicked out here. And actually, if you look, you can see there's a gap between the stringer and the stair, and that's why it's not exactly perfect. But just so you know, this is acceptable. Okay, you're never going to get your stair runner perfectly straight, but this 1/8 of an inch gap, you can't see that by eye. You'll be able to measure it with a tape measure. Like if you're off an inch, you're going to see it by eye. You're not going to see an 1/8 of an inch. What you want to make sure is that when you move up to the next stair, is that you're back on track, right? When you come up here, you can see now it's tight, it fits in there. So this will come back on track. So you want to just make sure you keep an eye on how straight your stair runner is going to be. We're going to put this on an angle. We're going to angle this over. You can't do it here. You kind of got to come to the middle and push this whole piece this way, okay, to kind of get it back in. We're going to lock it in with 2, 1, 2, okay, and now we're at least held in place. We're a little shy, but like I said, when we get up here, we're going to be okay. So now let's just keep going. Push with the kicker, staple, gun. Push, staple, push, staple, push, staple. And at the end, double tap. Okay, we're gonna take our hammer and our carpet tool. What we're gonna do is just make this beautiful here. This is how you make a really good installation. This nice tight groove looks fantastic. Now remember, we're not putting staples on the outside. You can definitely put 1, 2, and 3 here. We're not doing that today. That'll be on another video. Now before we go up the riser, let's grab a row of staples and fit it in the gun. Okay, push our stair runner down, right? We're gonna pre-bend. Nothing changes, every stair is the same, so once you get the groove of one stair, you can fly through this. Okay, double tap. Feel for staples, feels good. Okay, look at that, nice and fast. Let's keep moving up, moving along. Okay, now let's see where we ended up. Our stairs were kind of getting a little crooked there. Let's take our template, our spacer, let's move it up. Okay, let's fit it in there. Okay, looks like we're back on track here. Very nice. Okay, so then we're just gonna follow the same suit. Since we're lined up, we don't have to angle that much, right? We can almost get it straight now, right? This looks nice. We've got pressure on our hip. We've got our staple gun. So we're already pressured and it's nice and tight, right? Before we make one staple, make sure this is straight and tight. We are straight and tight. Take our staple gun, 45 degree, double tap. So now when we take the pressure of the kicker off, this is nice and tight. Perfect, right? Straight and tight. Okay, let's keep going. So what we do is every time we go to staple, we move this kicker, we put pressure, and then we staple, right? Move the kicker, pressure, staple. Move the kicker, pressure, staple. Okay, and then double tap on the end. Now this, we are just suggesting this is how you install the carpet. And if you're installing gray hearth like this, if you're installing Eclipse Tartan, if you buy it from us, this is how we suggest you install it. Okay, look at how nice that is. Nice groove. We're straight over here. We're tight here. We got one more stair before we get to the landing. Okay, same thing. We're gonna pre-groove that. A lot of carpets are not as soft as this, and pre-grooving makes a lot, because see how it wants to pop? It wants to pop. That's why we double tap. So we're gonna go up on an angle, double tap, right? This is tight. We didn't do it straight. We're up on an angle to pull it tight from here to here, to keep it as straight as we possibly can. Double tap on the end, feel, moving up. Okay, and this is too much to deal with, because when we do our landing, this is our landings. We make these left and right turn landings plus U-shapes. We actually customize everything. So if you need something, you can hit us up in chat and send us a couple of pictures and we will work this out for you. But before we do this landing, our landings come over and come right down and meet in between the stair tread and the riser. So you have an invisible seam. But this is too much to deal with right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a good knife and we're gonna cut that so there's really no more than 2 inches to deal with. Because see, when you push that, it wants to pop out. And that will pop the staples. Too much pressure will pop those staples and it won't be true. So we're gonna do that. Now, I don't know if I showed you before, but probably. If you watch the pad video, we leave 1 inch out to staple into, right? And it also gives us the groove down into. It resembles what tack strip would look like. Okay, here we go. What do we gotta do first? We gotta move our template up, our spacer, right? Look at that, we made it all the way up 6 stairs. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stairs before the landing, and we're straight as butter. Well, at least by eye, right? Maybe not by tape measure, but by eye. So let's take our kicker. Let's get some pressure. Right, we've got pressure. Now instead of this one, we're not gonna do it on a 45 because we're gonna have to cut this tail off. If you do it on a 45, you're gonna be cutting into the staples and you ruin your blade. So we're not gonna do tons. Watch how I do this. I'm gonna put pressure and we're gonna take our staple gun and we're going to right straight up and down as far as you can. Okay, and I only put one. Hopefully it holds. If it does, it will restaple it. Now I put my staple gun against the nose and then straight down, because when I cut, I'll cut above that staple line. We're gonna show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so let's continue. And now I'm not gonna put as many. Straight up and down, move the kicker. Straight up and down, move the kicker. Straight up and down, move the kicker. And now every time we're moving the kicker, right, we're putting pressure on there too. Pressure, straight up and down, staple. Pressure, straight up and down, staple. Okay. Now, we want to be able to cut this tail off so that we can finish our top riser. If, let's say this is our haul, we're going to pre-cut our top riser, which we'll show you after, and then your finished edge will be up here and your seam will be in here. So we want this to be invisible. Take your tucker, groove this down until you get a really, really nice groove. The more times, the better. Okay, you're gonna take a really good blade. Okay, we've got our blade. Now you gotta watch that you don't score your back riser. So when you put your knife in there, get it right in there nice. And now, instead of cutting down on a 45 like this, I'm almost gonna cut it flat. You can see I'm just gonna put my hand flat. I'm gonna get my brand new blade in there, put it flat, right? Okay, halfway. Then what we'll do is the same thing this way. You want to blow the fluff out of there. Because when you go to put your next piece in, you don't want all that gunk in there. You're going to take your tucker. And you're going to tuck that all the way down there. Now you can see there's a little bit of residual left here. I'm just going to clean that out. Good blade. Get out the fluff. Okay. And that's it. We're good to go. So if you had an upper hall here, you would put a riser. Now when we do the upper stairs there in part 3, I will show you how to do the riser. Part 2, I'm going to show you how to do the landing. Okay.
All right, so that was part 2 of the Tartan Eclipse Stair Runner install. We got some fantastic news. We have our own Stair Runner community on School. I'm going to leave the link in the description below, and you can go become a member absolutely free. There's going to be Stair Runner deals in there, Stair Runner how-to in there. If you're a designer, if you're a contractor, if you're an installer, if you're a DIY wannabe installer, this is the place for you. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Stick around for part 3 coming soon, how to do the Stair Runner landing. I'm Shannon with directcarpet.com, and we'll see you on the next one.